Hello, day 31. So the start of a new month or a new cycle, a new 30-day cycle. Mid-May, May 15th, day 31. Hey, what are you doing today? Really good day. Some really good pieces of information that I've picked up today. I love days like this. I love days when I come across, I've noticed that since I started, I've kind of been seeking out, actively seeking, good information, logical information, powerful information, information that'll continue to guide me in the correct direction, information that I can fall back on when I need to be kicked back into that direction. But I just came across an amazing piece of information, at least to me, for the way it's speaking to me right now, it has been very powerful. And the peculiar thing about it is, it's something that I was going to brush past. I was just going to kind of write it off because of some of the elements of of where it comes from, or what I was kind of anticipating or expecting the book to be like. It's a book, and I've been reading a bit and listening to a lot of audio books, those kind of things, hearing a lot of the same or very similar information put in different ways, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Actually, to hear the same information, and talked about in different ways is kind of powerful for me to relearn, rehear, and reconceptualize everything that I'm hearing. But when I began this journey, a little over, almost a month ago, I wanted to keep an open mind. I wanted to actively seek knowledge, information in different realms, and it's led down some interesting paths, some paths I wasn't expecting. I'm also starting to explore Buddhism and meditation, and that might open up some doors. Religion in general, and Christianity. Just keeping a very open mind about the humanity of being human, I guess, and just looking for information anywhere I can find, and any valuable component. And I'm getting some things that are just really interesting, mix of information, and it's all been very good. However, I was scanning through some audiobooks, and you can find this on YouTube, and I came across a book called I can't remember. I think it's The 50th Law, or I believe that's what it is. And it was a very interesting picture. And then I looked at it and I read that it was about, or not about, but had a lot to do with the rapper 50 Cent. And as soon as I heard that, my mind kind of shut it down a little bit. There's a lot of things in the rap culture, the gangster culture, that I can't agree with, I can't accept. Just some basic things. Some of the language that comes out, some of the dehumanization of men and women that comes out, and it's just some of the attitudes, just those elements that I on a personal level kind of associated with that kind of music. There's other artists out there that the little bit that I know, I've always kind of tried to keep an open mind when it comes to music, and I do enjoy some of what Eminem has to say in his songs. I think some of his songs that are motivational, especially Lose Yourself. Lose Yourself is, if you haven't heard it, one of the greatest songs to run to. I mean, if you need to get an extra 5 minutes at the end of your run, at least for me, I turn on Lose Yourself. You only get one chance to, it's just a very powerful song to run to, and it's kind of in the same element. He and 50 Cent actually, worked together on some projects. But I saw that it was a book, and it was had based a little bit on the life of 50 Cent, and I thought, I really don't want to hear the negative things that may come from that book. And it was just kind of one of those things where I decided, from some ignorance on my side of what was going to be in this book, and then I passed it by, and then I went back to it. Immediately something in me stopped and said, hey, wait a second, keep an open mind. And I went back to it, and wow, it's just been one of the more powerful things I've come across. Some of the same information with a completely different kind of edge, a completely different kind of way of talking about it. Some of it's equated to some things that I can't agree with. However, it's a very interesting perspective to look at. But I haven't talked really about any other books or anything else that I've been using, and it's because nothing's really hit me as much as this one has, and I'm very, very surprised by it. But just wanted to share that with anybody out there that might want to take a look at it. Again, I think it's called the 50th Law. But a couple of things that came out of it that were interesting, and I was trying to remember these as I was walking out here, so I may forget them. But the one thing is the ultimate power in life, and I believe this might even be a direct quote from 50 Cent. The ultimate power in life is to be totally self-reliant. And then to kind of mishmash this quote a little bit. Basically, what he says is that the ultimate power is not to have to depend on anybody else, not to have to be in a situation where you're working for somebody else, or you're on somebody else's time, or if you have complete total self-reliance, you have the ultimate power. And that's kind of one of the huge goals or end games of life, is to get to that level. And he continues to say something along the lines of, if you're under someone else's power, that person owns you. And to me, that just was like, wow, so powerful. I mean, just I really want, it's exactly what I want. I haven't heard it verbalized that way, but that's true. The ultimate goal, the ultimate power for me right now is to become self-reliant, and not be owned by anybody, and that connotation of having to stick to their guidelines, their goals, working for them and generating their money. But that was a good one. That was really powerful. The other thing, and this was kind of interesting, because yesterday I came to a conclusion on that initial business idea I had, and it was kind of hard to accept that conclusion. It felt like a small failure of sorts without even making the attempt. But rationally, I think that's the best way to go. Now, I still have it on the back burner. I haven't completely killed it, but I'm not going to invest too much into it unless something reignites it. And there's been a couple little things that have tried to reignite it, and it may ignite down the road. But I'm not making that the main focus of the small business. But the one thing that was interesting was, I was kind of going around, what do I want to do? What do I want to focus on? What kind of small business do I want to start? And that was the idea that came to me, and it became something that I could be passionate about. That I had an image in my head of kind of a romanticized image of how it was going to function, what it was going to look like, what it was going to feel like, and what kind of potential profits could be generated, those kind of things. And then in this book that I'm reading now, it speaks about watch the audience, look at the audience, and see what the audience wants. When using that term, the audience, the public, or the masses, see what the masses are craving, and find that and give that to them. Find that. So it's a little bit different way of looking to start the business, instead of me trying to find what do I want to do, what do I like doing, what can I make money with. Here's a little bit different perspective of, hey, where can there be money made? What kind of business could work in in this day and age? The communities that I'm around. What can I create? What can I come up with? And the other interesting part of that was that yesterday, when I decided to kind of stop pursuing the business, I made a small subset of goals to start looking more at markets. And this was outside of before ever reading that book, but that was the thing I want to. It's one of my daily goals that I got to get checked off, where I investigate different markets, different small businesses, what's working, and try to think with an open mind of what kind of spin-offs or what could come from that. So that's kind of the angle that I'm looking at things. But it was interesting that it was spoken about in that book. Let's see, there were two. I believe there were two other things that were really powerful that I've taken from that book, but off the top of my head now, I've just kind of got my brain concentrating on those two, and I can't remember the other ones that I wanted to talk about. But just an interesting piece that a lot of people may pass up. They may prejudge it, and I'm here to say, stop and check it out. If you're going down this a similar path to what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to put together, might be a good one to stop and check out with an open mind. Keep that open mind about it. There are some elements, some things that are discussed and talked about there. It's just it's much edgier than what we find in some of the other some of the other books. A lot of the same material, very similar material, but with a different edge, and it's good stuff, and it's got me fired up. I'll admit it, it's a thumbs up to whoever wrote it, whoever put it together, and thumbs up to Mr. Curtis for some of the things that he endured and went through to achieve what he got. And nothing I didn't know anything about it really. Anyway, just kind of wanted to talk about that real briefly today. Just the fact that little things sometimes can get me fired up, and that's a good thing. So it feels good to be fired up. That was a couple other things I wanted to talk about. I guess the whole thing of I guess at one point. Should kind of cut that short. It also mentioned that if you can learn to overcome the fear of death, you really have nothing left to fear. For some reason, I think I've heard that before, maybe in a different way, a different way than it was presented in this book. When presented in this book was a little bit different. There were some graphic elements to it, and it kind of hit home a little bit harder. It just made me think, walk around with being overly courteous or holding your tongue, things that I think or that I feel, and a lot of that, some of it may sometimes be being polite or courteous, but I think sometimes it's a fear thing, and it's just it kind of thinking about that created a new sense of freedom in me to say things and say things correctly. I'm not. It's another part of what I want to do is get away from letting my emotions control what I do or what I say or how I act, but actually have sharper control of my thoughts and activate the words that need to come out with that. But to hear that, taking away that fear kind of takes away from me, kind of takes away that emotional side that can make me as a human being kind of crazy. So to eliminate that, not be nervous with what I'm going to say, not be afraid of what I'm going to say, helps with that clarity that I need to put it together and verbalize when I think something's not correct. And it actually came into action today with a meeting that we had, and it felt really good. The other thing that was mentioned was making something your own, and it's kind of changed the way that my perspective is in the business that I'm at, the job that I do. I want to take more control over it as a stepping stone to getting out of it. I want to treat it as it's mine, and if somebody wants to take it away from me, do your best. Give me a little bit of that confidence that I need, a little bit of that, that fearlessness that makes us as human beings more valuable. And it does. When you're fearless and confident, even if you're wrong sometimes, that power is undeniable. Anyway, those are just a couple things. I just kind of want to share a couple things that are going on in my brain today, some powerful things. And this is month one. If I continue to stumble across this information, I can continue every day to force it into my brain. I continue to stay focused on my two main goals. I mean, by the end of this year, as long as I'm not lying to myself, as long as I am really doing it, I mean, there's no stop to the change that I can create. So I'm fired up again. Can't wait to continue on this path. I have a sense of urgency. That's also talked about in this book, to know that you're understand that you're mortal and things have to happen quickly. All those things. Just to check out the book, man. It's a good one. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for stopping in. Hey, what are you doing today? So thank you.